Have you ever thought of conflict as an industry? I've been thinking about all of the conflict that's been happening in our country lately. And I've noticed the visibility that it's given a lot of individuals. And I began to think, we hear stuff like the race baiter industry, and things like that. But I'm wondering how far that extends. And I'm wondering if these special interest groups really have an interest in resolving the struggles that they're addressing. I find that I am met with hostile resistance when I ask the simple question, how will you know when you've achieved your objective? And usually the response is, the objective hasn't been achieved. We still have a long ways to go. Well, where are you going to? I mean, it's a simple question. It's not like I'm asking them, something personal or intimate. I'm asking a legitimate question. How will you know when you've achieved your objective? What does that look like? And what does that mean for the movement that you're involved in once the objective is achieved? Now, one of the all-time greats at perpetuations of problems is race hustlers, of course. They're the number one group which has perfected the craft. There are tons of simple solutions that could be implemented to address many African American woes, yet these problem-solving ideas are brushed to the side. And the words, well, it goes deeper than that, are usually used. It's deeper than that, or the words but followed by you have to understand. But when I look at things like feminism, I see a similar pattern. I've noticed that women are becoming largely in charge. And yet the battle cry of equality, the fight for equality, it's just as strong now as it was when there really was a legitimate battle for equality. More women are in college than men. Women are in the workplace in prominent positions. The job that I work at, I believe, how many female supervisors do I have? I mean, I forgot, I lost count. Everybody's a female supervisor. I think there's a couple of guys that are in leadership roles. And that's not taking anything away from the women that are in charge. They're capable. They do a good job. But the observation is, and hey, before somebody says, well, that's your job, we're quick to get outraged and get angry. And I have yet to clap back on people. I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings and, make a cupcake, cream puff, style armchair activist cry. I haven't done that yet because I know about their thin skin, although they'd like to portray the role that they're tough as nails. I know about this particular kind of New Age activists, and I won't even go there right now. But a lot of special interest groups are finding a lifetime of visibility, a lifetime of social status, clout, simply by not defining the end game. And as long as they can keep from defining the end game, I don't even think that the actual battle is of interest to them, so long as the battle is going on, even with unfounded information. There was the wage gap controversy that has since been proven, as to why women make less than men. There were several studies that showed there were career choices. There were, they took into account maternity leave. They took into account what women were willing to do as opposed to what men were willing to do. as far as job performance. And it has nothing to do with ability. It had everything, or necessarily discrimination. It had more to do with what a person was willing to do. It's my belief that the gender hustlers, the race hustlers, many of these special interest groups, they're not concerned with the outcome, which is very dangerous to their followers. Because as followers, you tend to wait on your leaders to give you the objectives. And if the objective is simply to move forward, they don't ask any questions. They just move forward. My prediction is that these special interest groups, even after they have achieved their agenda and their quote unquote undefined goal of equality, will continue even after they dominate the landscape. They will continue with their battle cries for, we deserve equality. We need equality. Even if their opponent, i.e. the white patriarchy, is completely eliminated. My fear is who's going to be the next target that's oppressing, that's holding them back. I would feel, if we're going to have, a matriarchal society, I would, as just as a person, I can't say as a man, because man is a bad word now. Masculinity, any form of masculinity, it seems nowadays, is toxic. I guess my concern is where do I fit in? Or am I to be cycled out too? As far as the race baiters and the race hustlers, after media is completely black, after all of society is completely integrated, after states like Vermont are given a bit more color to them, after all your demands are met, excuse me, still hacking out the last of this coal, will it be enough? Or is conflict itself the goal? Now, of course, I'll be met with hostility because I'm asking a question that, if anybody considers it, if people on a large scale consider what I'm asking, begin to think about it, it undermines the very machine that these hustlers are perpetuating. But if I don't ask these questions, then these groups continue to chug forward like a train with no destination. Is anyone going to stand up and ask them to define what their objective is? And ask that question, how will you know when you've achieved it? I don't know. The society that I am in that I'm living in today is a far cry from the society that I knew. And I mean, it's like, one day I woke up and things were completely different. And if I come off as old school, if I come off as antiquated, it's because things happen so fast. I haven't had a chance to stop my head from spinning. I no longer know what is appropriate behavior, how to interact with some of these groups, how to communicate with some of these groups. I'm still learning all the terms of binary, non-binary, all of the terms that people want to be called because of gender. And it's, the older I get, the less flexible and the less able I'm going to be to understand a lot of stuff. I assumed that common sense was going to make a comeback, but I don't know now. I don't know anymore. I don't know if this period of time will be looked back upon like a ship of fools in a footnote in history, or if this society without an end vision will be the undoing of our country. It remains to be seen. Take care, and if you have similar ideas and concerns such as we do at Empirical Planet, hit that subscribe button and let us know what you think. Let us know your opinions. Take care.